Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
All right, Barty B.
That was crazy.
Barty B going in, man.
Bill, what you gonna do, Bill? Bill, what you gonna do?
Oh, boy.
Okay,
He
those
was
are,
such an instigator.
Isn't he, though?
those are just clear shots. What you gonna do,
Oh,
Bill?
my God.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I'm saying? Barty drew a line in the sand. She like, what's up?
Salute to Barty B. All right. Well, let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Friday. Y'all know what we about to talk about, right? Former President Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
He has been found guilty of all 34 counts in his New York criminal hush money case. He was convicted by a jury of his peers of falsifying records before the 2016 election to hide payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Now, it may not be the history that he wants, but he does go down in U.S. history as the first American president to stand trial in a criminal case and be convicted. Let's hear Trump's reaction to the verdict.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
I never thought I would see the day where they convicted the president of the United States of America, but here we are.
Yes, we are. He went on to say the whole country is going to hell. And he is scheduled to be sentenced in July. I believe that's July 11th, which is just days before the Republican National Committee nominates their official or makes their official nomination. In that time, he will not face any travel restrictions. And legal experts say he will not be remanded to jail. He is expected to appeal this. Meanwhile, President Biden says Donald Trump can only be defeated at the ballot box. The Biden-Harris campaign made the comment shortly after the verdict was handed down. The campaign's communication director, Michael Tyler, said Trump has always mistakenly believed he would never face consequences for breaking the law for his own personal gain. And speaking of personal gain, Trump's fundraising website crashed after reportedly receiving an $800,000 donation following the verdict. The Trump campaign posted on X, so many Americans were moved to donate to President Trump's campaign that the Win Red pages went down. Now, that site was actually restored after about 30 minutes. Now, keep in mind, this does not disqualify Trump from being on the November ballot.
Nope.
That's crazy. That was literally my only question. Wow.
Do people,
The prerequisites to be president in this country is the candidate just has to be a natural-born citizen, at least 35 years old, and a U.S. resident for 14 years. The wild part for me on this is that convicted felons rarely, if ever, get a chance to even work for the federal government.
Yeah.
Their voting rights are impacted, but I guess you can be president. So there you go.
Yeah, I was going to ask, does his core, the people follow him, care at all if he was found guilty or not? You know, does it matter? So what does it actually mean? You know what I mean? If that's the case.
Well, no, nobody is above the law. So I'm not, mad that justice was served on that end. But, like Morgan said, this don't change nothing because Trump can still run for president. And it's just going to galvanize his base to go out there and support him more because he's going to play the political prisoner card.
That's right.
And if you love people like Alvin Bragg, the best thing you can do is go out there and vote to keep Trump out of office because if he gets back in, he is definitely going to punish his political opponents, and Alvin Bragg will be at the top of that list.
Yeah, they said
you best believe that.
Once they said he's going to appeal, they said they're going to push back his sentencing, and they said it's unlikely he's going to go to jail or anything's really going to happen. They're not going to give him community service. He's not going to be cleaning up trash on the West Side Highway. So
probably get a fine, some restitution.
But did y'all even expect for him to be found guilty?
No.
Y'all didn't?
Not at all. Also, I didn't expect him to even bring charges up against him in the first place. No.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be found guilty. Definitely, I didn't think so. And I definitely don't think he's going to jail.
But all of this, I'm not going to say all of this is for nothing because, once again, nobody's above the law. But if you can still run and he can still become president of the United States of America,
what does it even
what
matter?
is the point?
And that's what I was saying. Like, his core is even going to go even harder for him. You know what I mean? But
I keep saying it's gonna be the battle of the bases at the polls this year, and Trump's base is energized. Biden's base, not so much, because a lot of Biden's base is upset of how he's handling Gaza, and you're doing things like saying, hey, vote non-committed now, and then in November we're gonna switch to energy. You really think you're gonna be able to switch these kids' energy? come November? You really think you're gonna be able to switch people's mindset come November? You think people are that politically sophisticated? We'll see.
The sad thing about it is most people I speak to don't like Trump and they don't like Biden.
25% of America.
Yeah, I mean, and they feel like
one in 4
forced.
Americans. I'm one of them.
They feel like forced, right? So yesterday I was talking to my pops, and I'm like, I'm just gonna vote independent. Why would you do that? That's it's like, well, I don't like Biden and I don't like Trump. So what do you want me to do?
What does that mean? You want to vote independent though? What did that mean?
I was just saying that to piss him off. I was saying I was gonna vote for Dr. Cornel West. I was just pissing him off.
Hey,
but
nothing wrong with that though.
But it's like when you don't like the two candidates, what do you do?
Who do you? Yeah.
What do you do at that
You
point?
can't just not vote.
Right.
That's the point.
Well, to your point, there are other candidates out there. You know, people don't ever give them a.
You gonna bring your fingers? What are you
right?
doing?
People don't ever give them a chance in hell of winning.
No,
but I mean,
not at all. And they don't have a chance in hell of winning.
Well, that's because they tell us they can't. But if enough American people voted for third-party candidates, that could work.
Yeah, but let's be truthful. It ain't gonna happen. All right. Well, thank you, Morgan. We'll see you next hour.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't say Dallas Mavericks beat the Minnesota Timberwolves yesterday, so they moved to the conference finals. So salute to the Dallas Mavericks.
Hey.
Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, quickly, just Dallas Mavericks beat the Timberwolves last night, 124-103, so they move on to the finals.
NBA Finals.
That was a good game.
You didn't watch it because it wasn't a good game. They got blown up.
They got blown out crazy.
Mavs got their ass beat down. Mm-hmm. It was bad.
So did you watch it?
Yeah, the Mavs won.
Yeah, the Mavs won. I mean,
yeah, you ain't watch it. Yeah, the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the Wolves got their ass beat.
Yeah, the Mavs
That's what I
won.
meant to say.
was
Listen,
good.
I didn't get off a plane until 12:30 last night. I'm tired. But yeah, the Mavs busted their ass.
Sure did.
It was like a fight on baddies. You know how on baddies when a girl be getting their ass beat down? Mm-hmm. That's how it was
When
for
you
the
be
Timberwolves.
watching it, yeah.
All right. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so in case you missed it in the first hour, former President Donald Trump has been found guilty of all 34 counts in his New York criminal hush money case. He was convicted by a jury of his peers of falsifying records before the 2016 election to hide payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. He's the first president in U.S. history to stand trial in a criminal case and be convicted. Trump is scheduled to be sentenced in July, I believe July 11th, just days before the Republican Party officially nominates a candidate. He is expected to appeal. Elsewhere, millions of older Americans are still struggling, younger too, with student loan debt. A new survey from the Federal Reserve Board found 2.2 million Americans over the age of 55 has student loan debt they're still trying to pay off. Yeah, in a Black Information Network exclusive, I spoke with Education Secretary Miguel Cardona on why he believes there's still a need, despite the administration issuing multiple rounds of relief. Let's hear from Mark.
It's because the system has been broken for decades and nobody's touched it, right? We have a higher education system in this country that has rewarded wealth versus intelligence and capability. We have too many students in this country who choose not to go to college because of the fear of the cost. So we are unapologetic about leveling the playing field here. 4.7 million, and that's with Republicans working hard to strike down and the Supreme Court striking down the largest plan that the president put forward. So we're not done. We're back at it. We recognize that we have a broken system that we need to fix so that, you know, when we talk about equality and the ability to succeed and addressing achievement disparities in our country, we recognize that higher education is a pathway forward to doing that. So we're opening the doors of college access and affordability.
55 still with student loans.
In
That's
fact,
crazy.
roughly half of the borrowers in that age range average about $58,000 that they owe us. So in this latest round of student debt relief, public servants qualified for this latest round. So that means teachers, police officers, EMTs, waste management professionals, basically if you work for the city, state, things of that nature. And then tens of thousands who also signed up for Biden's loan repayment plan or program called SAVE.
You know, I always felt like if you was a public servant, like an essential worker, like those people you just named, the police officers, I think you said firefighters, the teachers, they should get their student loans wiped away just because they chose public service.
Yeah.
And you know what they do for us as a society on a daily basis is that important. They should get their student loans wiped out. If you're an essential worker, if you're considered an essential worker, public servant, you should get your student loans wiped away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that include journalists? I'm
No.
not gonna get into that. Okay. So on the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, I like to share a resource available for new mothers experience mental health issues. The Health Resources and Services Administrator, Carol Johnson, says when someone calls their hotline, they'll be speaking to a counselor who can relate to their issues. That's raw audio on Ms. Johnson.
Often there are women with lived experience of having had mental health or emotional support needs during their pregnancies as well. We're partnering with hospitals, working to make sure this is part of the information that people get when they leave the hospital after they've just delivered, connecting with OBs to make sure it's part of the information that gets shared with people during prenatal care and postnatal care.
Yes, so HRSA data shows that 1 in 8 women who are new mothers experience some sign of depression. Johnson says the hotline is not only available for new mothers, but their families as well as their partners. Now, the hotline operates 24/7, and that number is 1-833-TLC-MAMA, MAMA, 1-833-TLC-MAMA. And that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. You can follow me on social media at Morgan Media and check out more news coverage at Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Thank you, Morgan. Have a great weekend.
Wake that ass up. In the morning. The Breakfast Club.